Today I'm going to be talking about what's good about the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra and what's not so good about it. So if you are looking to buy one of these, you'll want to stick till the end to find out more and help you make an informed decision. Welcome everyone to my channel Fusion Tech Studio. Let's get into it. I have had this phone for about a week now, and in this past week I have observed many good things and some not so good things about this phone. First, let's talk about what's good in this phone. One of the many unique features of a flip phone is the ability to fold the main display and change the form factor from a typical bar style phone to a mini pocket sized device. For starters, when this phone is folded and you hold it in the palm of your hand, you will immediately feel it has a better grip. You just feel a lot more confident about holding your phone and clutching it in the palm of your hand. That feeling of having your fingers tightly wrapped around the phone gives you a sense of security. The next good thing about this phone, and probably its best selling point, is this gorgeous external display. What if I were to tell you that you can perform most of your tasks without ever opening this phone right on this mini screen? This may not appeal to you at first, but it's only when you start using this external display when you find out its true potential. Up front, you have a panel which shows you the time and up to 4 apps that you can configure. And there are around 13 pre-installed panels that you can choose. There's a panel to show your apps, which you can use to add your most recently used apps. Then there is a panel for adding your most frequently dialed contacts. Then there is a panel for adding your widgets. Then there is a panel for operating your Moto Buds Plus or any other TWS. Then there is a panel for your calendar, then one for the weather. Then there are some pre-installed games that comes with this phone. There's a panel for that. There's a panel for stopwatch and a timer. And then there is a panel for Google Fit and Google Stocks, and finally Spotify. So you can configure up to 13 different panels that are predefined on this phone, on this external display. And the way you do that is by holding this window, clicking on Manage Panels, and here you have all the panels that you can add. I have added all the panels just to show you what are the different panels available. But if you wish to configure it differently or have fewer panels, you can do that as well. Then there are 3 different modes that you can use this phone in. First is a standard mode where you keep it flat on the surface. You can lock this phone and turn on the always on display. This screen comes with a 165 Hz LTPO panel, which will ensure that in this mode the battery drain is at a minimal. Then there is also a tent mode, and this is unique to flip phones. You will not be able to do this in a traditional phone. So we have regular tent mode here, where you can basically keep it in this mode. You can configure the tent mode to show you a slideshow of images of your choice, and you can use this mode to do video calls or even creating some content or creating some videos to upload to social media. And the third mode is the reverse of it. You just place the phone flat on the surface, and then you can use this mode for pretty much the same purpose. You can use this mode for video calling, for creating content, or just if you want to, while you're working and you want to just have some wallpapers or some slideshow of images to run on the screen, you can use this mode to do that as well. The camera is where you will truly see the versatility of the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. With traditional bar style phones, the primary camera is at the back, and taking selfies with it sometimes becomes cumbersome. With this phone, you can use the main camera to take selfies. Not only that, but because the main camera is facing you when the phone is folded, you will be able to see yourself on the external display and make adjustments before you click a photo. This gives you more control when taking selfies, which just isn't possible using a traditional phone. And when you want to take a photo of someone else, all you need to do is flip the phone open and use the main camera to take photos. Along with the 50 megapixel main camera, there is a 50 megapixel telephoto camera in the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra, which can be used to take close-up shots with up to 2 times optical zoom. There is optical image stabilization to ensure photos come out stable, especially when taken on the move. You can shoot 4K videos at 30 and 60 frames per second and Full HD videos up to 960 frames per second. Videos have HDR10 support with electronic image stabilization. Overall, the quality of photos and videos shot by the main and the telephoto camera is decent. Let's talk about charging. The phone comes with a 4000 mAh battery and is capable to charge at 45 watts. It also supports up to 15 watts wireless charging and 5 watts reverse wireless charging. If you have any TWS or a smartwatch with wireless charging capability, you can use this phone to charge them too. The Moto Buds Plus that came packed with this phone can be charged using the phone itself. Let me give you a quick demo. In order to use power sharing option to charge other devices using this phone, you need to turn on the power sharing option in the settings. Once you do that, you can just get, this is the Moto Buds that came with the phone, and this is the charging indicator right here. You can just turn the phone, place it flat on the surface, put the Moto Buds on it, and you will see that it has started charging. You can see the light blinking. That's an indication that the TWS is being charged. Then there are gestures. Motorola has some cool gestures that you can use in this phone. Let's take a look at some of them. First, there is fast torch. 2 quick chop movements will turn on the flashlight. And doing this again will turn it off. Then there is quick capture. 2 quick swivel movements will turn on the camera. Then there is lift to unlock. When the phone is locked and on the table, lifting it and looking at the screen will unlock the phone. But this sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work. So let's take a look at it. There you go. It has unlocked the phone. Then we have 3-finger screenshot. When you place 3 fingers on the screen, it will take a screenshot of the screen. On this external display, because there is a lack of space, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But on the main screen it will. So here you go, it took a screenshot. So these are some of the gestures that come with the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. And these were some of the good impressions that I had of this phone. Now these are very initial impressions. I've had this phone for only a week. And I'm sure that I will learn some more good things about this phone. But for now, this is all that I have observed. Now let's move on to the things that are not good with this phone. While there are a lot of things that you can do on the external display, there are still some things you cannot. There is no way to access the settings from the external display. Whenever you need to make a change to the settings, you will have to flip the phone open and access it from the main display. Here on the external display, if I try to look for the settings app in the app drawer, you'll notice that there is no option or no settings app present in the app drawer, which means I will not be able to add it to the external display while the phone is folded. Another limitation is Taking calls with the phone folded is possible, but there is no earphone on the external display, and answering the call will put the caller on loudspeaker. It would have been nice had Motorola provided an earphone to take calls privately from the external display. I just don't see people using the external display to answer calls because of this limitation. Then some apps will open on the external display but will force you to flip the phone open to use some features on the main display. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but limits the use of the app on the external display. And with all the flip phones, the first thing that you need to do is get a case. They are a lot more fragile when compared to a traditional phone. So a case is the first thing that you should buy after getting this phone. This, however, means when the case is applied, the thickness of the phone increases twofold. What that means is when you fold the phone, it's folded right now, you'll notice that the case is wrapped around the phone. And what it means is on both the sides, you will have the case. So that the case basically comes with a probably around a 3 mm thickness, but because it is folded, you have the case wrapped around the phone, and it adds on 3 mm on both the sides of the phone, which increases the thickness of the phone when the phone is folded. And you can make out when you hold the phone on the palm of your hand that this phone is a little thick. Now, if you would take the case out and then hold the phone, it feels much better. It feels much more grippier. But with the case on, it is a little more thick, and that is felt in the palm of your hand. There is no workaround to this because just because the phone becomes a little thick, you should not avoid putting a case. With a flip phone, it's always recommended to have a case on. So this is one other limitation that I felt with this phone. Then this phone uses a Snapdragon 8s Gen 3 processor, which in itself is a very good processor and is sufficient for my needs. It still is not a performance-centric processor like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. This can be a limitation for those who prefer to play graphic-intensive games or rely on their phones to do hardcore video editing. However, for most use cases, this processor will do just fine. There is no SD card slot, no headphone jack, which is a pretty common thing these days, and this phone misses out on them as well. The USB Type-C port is a 2.0 version. This means data transfer happens at the rate of around 480 megabytes per second, as opposed to 4.8 gigabytes per second when compared to USB 3.0 port. This is something that I feel Motorola should have avoided, considering that this is their flagship offering. All in all, I feel the number of benefits of this phone outnumbers the number of limitations. If you are looking for a phone that will give you more in terms of usability than a traditional phone, and you want to move away from one, this is perhaps one of the better devices you can consider. Then again, if you want a phone to play high-end games or use the phone for taking breathtaking photos or making videos for content creation on social media, then Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 6 is probably a better choice. With Flip 6, you get the same form factor with a better processor, arguably a better camera, and better software support. However, it is better to avoid a flip phone if your goal is to only play high-end games, as there are many limitations like a smaller battery, lack of vapor chamber for cooling, and the crease in the middle of the screen that no matter how much you try to avoid, it will to some extent affect your gaming experience. Traditional phones are better suited for playing games owing to a bigger battery and a larger vapor chamber for more effective cooling. Outside of the performance-centric applications, the Motorola Razr 50 Ultra outshines the Flip 6 in every other category, which is the reason why I chose the Razr over the Flip. It's priced at 99,999 rupees, which makes it cheaper than the Flip 6 by 10,000 rupees depending on the variant you choose. On top of that, you get a brand discount of 5,000 rupees and a credit card discount of another 5,000 rupees, taking the cost down of this phone to 89,999. On top of this, there is a no cost EMI of 18 months on some bank credit cards if you would like to use that option to buy this phone. I will leave a link in the description below where you can pick up this phone and avail these deals. If you would like to see one of the many things that impressed me about this phone, take a look at the unboxing experience I had with this phone by clicking on the link above. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Drop in a comment if you have any questions about this phone. Hit the like button if you found this video useful. Click on the bell icon to stay informed whenever I upload new content, and subscribe to my channel to show your support. Until next time, goodbye.